He didn't even bother saying my name. No greeting, no attempt at civility, just a short, cold message that read like a receipt. The property taxes are due. That was my father's language. Orders disguised as reminders, a constant way of reminding me that I wasn't his son, just his financial safety net. I stared at the message for a while before locking my phone. The quiet that followed wasn't uncomfortable anymore. I had learned to use silence like armor. For most of my life, I thought I was the one he was proud of. I worked hard, stayed out of trouble, took care of things he didn't want to deal with. My sister, Emily, was always his favorite, reckless, charming, and constantly broke. But she was the youngest, and I told myself that was why he spoiled her. When Mom passed, it was me who arranged everything. I handled the insurance claims, paid the funeral bills, and signed the paperwork while Emily wept beside the casket. Afterward, Dad hugged me with watery eyes and said, "You've always been my rock, son." I believed him. It started with whispers, comment from my accountant, inconsistencies in Dad's financial records, a mention of a trust that didn't seem to include me. I brushed it aside, assuming it was a mix-up. But one night, over drinks, a family friend said something that froze me mid-sip. "Your dad really took care of Emily with that trust fund. She's set for life." The words rattled around in my mind long after. I spent the next week digging quietly. Bank records, legal filings, old emails, all the proof I needed. The truth was there in black and white. An irrevocable trust funded by the sale of Mom's stocks. Every penny marked for Emily. Not 1 cent for me. That's when I stopped pretending. I didn't confront him or send angry messages. I simply withdrew. I stopped paying the bills for his summer house in Maine, the one in his name, but funded by my account. I stopped wiring money to cover Emily's latest emergencies. I stopped being the invisible structure that held their comfort together. For a few weeks, the silence went unnoticed. Then his message arrived. "The property taxes are due." This time, I typed back slowly. "Then you should pay them." And I turned off my phone. It's remarkable what silence can reveal. At first came confusion, then annoyance, then panic. Emily called, pretending to check in, but the conversation inevitably turned toward money. I listened, calm and detached, before telling her I was reassessing my finances. Her laugh was nervous, strained. She wasn't used to being told no. A few days later, Dad called. His tone was sharp, like I was still a teenager being scolded. "Why didn't you take care of the taxes? You know how important that place is to the family." I almost laughed. The family? The same one that erased me from my mother's inheritance? I figured since the trust fund's Emily's, she can handle it. I said. There was a long silence before he snapped. "That's not her responsibility." "It's not mine either," I replied and hung up. That night, I transferred all the house utilities out of my name, canceled every contract, and let the unpaid taxes pile up. Eventually, the county sent a notice. Their panic grew. They called, begged, accused, but I stayed steady. Every move I made was lawful, deliberate, and final. The last confrontation happened in person. He came to my office looking smaller somehow, eyes sunken, voice frayed. "How could you do this to your own family?" he shouted. I looked at him for a long moment before answering. "You taught me to take care of what's mine and let others handle their own. I just followed your lesson." He flinched, but I wasn't finished. "You made sure Emily would never have to worry about anything. And you made sure I learned how to survive alone." "So I did." He didn't respond. The silence that followed was heavier than any argument. For the first time, I think he saw me clearly, not as a son, but as the consequence of his own choices. Eventually, the house went up for auction. Emily's trust remained untouched, her future secured in a cage of his making. Dad stopped calling. Emily's messages turned bitter, then stopped too. For the first time in years, I felt peace. No guilt, no obligation. Just quiet freedom. When I think about it now, I realize my revenge was never about money. It was about withdrawal, the emptiness left behind when the one who always gave finally stops. Some lessons can't be taught with words. Some people only learn through absence. Weeks later, his final text came. "You've changed." I stared at it for a long moment before replying, "No, you just stop benefiting." And that was the last message I ever sent him.